What's up guys, my name is Elle and welcome to or back to the coffee shop project at home. Today we're going to be using the Chemex for the first time ever here on the coffee shop project, featuring the Dancing Goats Roast from Batdorf and Bronson. So I just finished interviewing Doughty, who is in charge of sales and communications at Batdorf and Bronson, and we're talking about the different brewing methods that we liked. My favorite as of now is the Clever Dripper. He loves the French press, and in the not so distant future I am going to be doing some Instagram stories brewing this same roast with the French press, so follow me at Elle Grayson for that. But because I had this coffee ground at Whole Foods for the Chemex, I decided that I would hold the integrity of the roast because Rin, when I was talking with him, stressed how important it is to the brew of the coffee to use the correct grind. So another tip that I picked up with Rin is that folding these Chemex filters is way easier than you would have thought. So I looked up this whole tutorial and spent an hour trying to figure out how to fold these all nice and fancy for you guys. I think it was called the barista method. And we were chatting towards the end of our interview and he's like, Elle, this is super easy. All you do is stick your hand in, there it is. So you take the filter where it has a thickness of 1, 2, 3, and you put that towards the spout of your Chemex. So I'm gonna pop that in there and then I'm gonna step off to the side with the filter and then come back and brew some coffee. Our Chemex filter is all nice and wet, and I have a 6-cup Chemex, which means that we need between 50 and 57 grams of coffee. My sweet spot is generally a nice 54 grams of coffee, and this is a medium coarse grind. So we are just gonna pull off that in there. And then we are going to turn our scale on and set it to grams and tare it to 0. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to get our kettle, and I know this isn't a gooseneck kettle, I'm getting there, upgrading it, but over the next 30 seconds, I'm gonna pour until I hit 260 grams of water. So let's start that timer and go. And you want to start in the center and go in a circular motion outward. And notice how much slower it's dripping. So when I started brewing for my Chemex, I was using the wrong filter. I was just using the flat bottom filter, and the water would just like go through so freaking fast. And I was like, what is wrong with this? This cannot be the correct way to do it. And Ren said that it's because of the filter, but now with the correct cone filter for the Chemex, we're nailing it. It's going much slower, and we just hit 30 seconds. And then at 1 minute, we're gonna go up to 520 grams of water. If you look in there, it's like it's spilling up on top and then slowly grinding through. It almost looks like a vegan muffin is the only thing I can think of. My cousin has these like gluten-free muffins, and that's the vibe. But it's going through nice and slow and following the rules much easier than I was doing before because I was screwing it up. Now we're gonna wait till we're at 2.5 minutes, and we're gonna go all the way up to 780 grams of water. Okay, slightly over. I always like struggle getting it like just right. Hopefully that extra 5 grams of water won't screw things up too much. And now over the next 5 minutes, I'm just gonna wait and watch it go all the way through until there's no water still pooled up in my filter. Okay, we're getting close to being done with the Chemex. I thought that we could pour some of the beans to look at them, and when we try to figure out the flavor profile and such of the roast, we could look at the beans because I always think it's interesting seeing what their roast profile looks like. So I would definitely consider this a medium roast, maybe on the lighter side. They're not quite dark like that Italian roast, but at the same time, because of lighter beans like this, I wouldn't consider it a true medium. Now it's looking like our Chemex is about done, so I'm gonna pull the filter off and I'm gonna throw it in the trash, and then we'll do a cupping. Our Chemex is finally done brewing. I've cleaned everything up a little bit and made a spread, and now it is time to finally taste this Batdorf and Bronson Dancing Goats coffee. First, we're just gonna enjoy the Chemex aesthetic of the pouring. The thing that initially drew me to the Chemex before I learned to understand the science of it all was just that beautiful, clean, minimalistic look, and now I'm enjoying learning about the chemistry of it too. Anyway, let's taste this coffee. So we're gonna smell it first. Smells very sweet, and now we're going to use the other of the 4 principles of coffee tasting, which is the smell, the body, the sweetness, the acidity, and overall flavor notes. I think I merged 4 into 5. Anyway, let's give it a sip. This is good. It's interesting. So another sip. I'm going to start by saying that this is way better in the Chemex than it was in the Melita. Maybe it's because I focused extra hard on making it perfectly, but I really like how the Chemex made the body of it. It's nice and smooth and milky. And then I struggle tasting the chocolate notes in coffee, and they really come through in this one very robustly. And then there's also some great acidity on the back of your tongue, and I love the aftertaste. If you ever try the coffee, you'll understand what I'm saying, but like A few seconds after you finish that sip, it leaves this wonderful taste in your mouth. I love the composition the most though. What I've been really enjoying about different coffees is how the body of it tastes in my mouth, and this one is a 10 out of 10 from me. Anyway, that is all for the coffee shop project at home today. Thank you so much for watching my first attempt with Batdorf and Bronson and the Chemex on this channel. And if you want to learn more about Batdorf and Bronson and Rin, who I mentioned a few times in this video, you can follow them both down on Instagram down below, and you can see my full interview with Rin Saturday. Bye guys.